This is your daily market recap for Monday, October 31st, 2021. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at East Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Monday, October 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween. Scary time in the markets, question mark. Let's get into it. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the love and support. Please take 2 seconds, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Make sure you alert the bell notifications so when we go live, because we're going to be doing more lives probably, 3 or 4 times a week. Please subscribe, check it out. Now again, let's get into the market. What are the biggest worries? Well, remember, yeah, the Monday and Tuesday before the FOMC. Do not expect a big amount of action. I mean, up, down, chop. That's what I'd expect at this point. I wouldn't get too excited either way. The market's not going to react to anything big until then. Just keep that in mind. If you're following the channel and you've noticed we post a ton in the Discord room, if you're trying to get in, hit me up on Twitter, DM me. Love to bring people in if their stories make sense, because ultimately, we're here to teach, not tell you what to do, line for line. The goal is to show you all of the evidence and you make the decision. That's how trading works. No one here is responsible for anyone other than themselves, and it's pretty simple. So at this point, knowing it's the Monday before, last day of the month, not surprised there was some profit taking. Market's up 13, 14%, I think on the Dow, 10% plus, profit taking. Not surprising. Now remember, new month, new money, new month coming in, still earnings. Would not be surprised the market holds up. Be aware. I don't think the Feds want to be on the hook for a crash before the election. That's just me. That's what I am anticipating. All right, let's get into it. Oh, look at that, Bitcoin. No, someone was asking me about Ethereum. I'm like, man, I just don't really like to talk about it. It's kind of dead money. I mean, all of digital currencies, maybe Doge. If you want me to talk about Doge, but again, I don't think these things move the market. But they do help you know what risk is on, not off. Bitcoin going nowhere, Ethereum going nowhere. I mean, you have your lows, so you can trade them, and knowing that those are the lows and those are where your stops are. But I mean, at this point, it feels like the same conversation I have every day with gold and silver, the miners. Long term, I like this stuff. Short term, I have no desire to play in that field. It's just dead money. Oil, not surprised, backed up today. Hit our support around 86, mid 85s, whatever that is. Funny thing is, it dropped on a report that there's going to be a windfall profit tax on oil companies. That's not going to increase supply for oil. And then you realize, well, why we have like a 25-day supply of diesel fuel? That's not bearish oil. We'll see what happens. At this point, yeah, I still have said this over and over again, that I do believe the Feds are going to get stuck in the pickle later, because you're going to see basically commodities put them to the challenge. Are you guys really want to continue to raise rates, or you give up and let inflation take over and anchor in deep? And it might be part of their whole plan, because they can't service the debt. Just keep that in mind. Nat gas, man, nice pop off the lows, pulls back. Not surprised. This is the thing. Once you get over the mid-sixes, the runway opens. You're in the chop zone at this point. We've talked about wide and loose, broadening pattern. If you bought it on Friday, lucky you, because that is awesome action. But it made sense. We'll get into it when we get into UNG the same. Because again, we're like, oh, why are you trading UNG? It's like, I care about what the market's doing when I'm trading it, not after hours. I mean, it's important, but not as important as when I can allow myself to sleep and get to work. The dollar, not surprised it popped. We talked about this, holding the 50-day, could get to the 20-day, talked about this kind of chop zone. You have lower lows, lower highs. Everyone keeps saying, oh, this is a wicked flag. It's done. It's bottom, 2 touches. Well, I don't get why people don't ever look at what just literally happened. If there's a 3-touch flag top, could there be a 3-touch flag bottom? I'm under the impression that the dollar is going to near-term top, like it has, kind of backfill. Doesn't mean it's going to collapse. Doesn't mean the yen's going to go flying. I just think it's just temporary. I mean, this volume up is kind of swaggy. that's a word. TLT, again, bonds. Not really expecting a whole lot until what? The Feds speak. I mean, I feel like you could have the capitulation bottom, but I said this. You're always, anticipate retest. Tops and bottoms, either a high, even a slightly higher low. I mean, people are like, oh, the bonds have bottomed. I don't know, but I'm not going to be the first one to bottom pick it because, you thought this would be the extreme and you rally back. You couldn't even get to the 20-day. Couldn't get back to the 20-day. And again, here, we talked about it. Get to the 20-day. It's not even getting there. If commodities are going higher, do you want to buy bonds? I would say not. The VIX. We talked about market not confirming the bust down lower when the VIX could not break out. Nobody believed me. Watch what happens when we break the 20-day, and here you go. First resistance support held. Now you're 2-day range, and I wouldn't be surprised if you held here, but I'm telling you, 23s are coming, potentially. Maybe even this gap fill. That's why it's so hard. I mean, again, look at the evidence. Let's try to be mindful of it, but the bears don't look like they're in any evidence that they're in control. Today, a little doji under the 100-day. I mean, again, it's the same thing. You got over and you pull back on light volume, you chill out. I'm not surprised. New money's coming in. We'll see what happens when the Feds speak. I don't know. Not going to be bearish. I still think this, we're either in the higher range for the peak, or we're going to bust up and keep trolling up because of the red wave. Potentially, markets might get excited about midterm election years, all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be shorting now. I mean, I'd rather be late or wait. QQQ, we're talking about the dogs. Don't trade this stuff. The heck is crap. Now, again, could it bottom on the last day of the month? Maybe. Oh, man, all my fib stuff I drew not showing up because my computer didn't save. It crashed, and it didn't save the previous. It happens. I think you guys can see at this point. Oops, man, all this stuff is just not drawn well. It's very obvious. The Qs are lagging. We all know that. I think it's just a matter of at what point do you get to? I mean, 285. I still think the mid 290s makes sense. Maybe 305. I mean, you got to love when the fibs line up with the support resistance. We talk about that as one of the keys ways of knowing if a trend is over or not, because if everything is robotically controlled by algorithms, then it seems likely that the fibs are going to matter. The 50% fib is in the middle of the zone. The 0.618 is at the top of this one. 0.382 at the 50-day. Not surprising. IWM. Making higher highs, not bearish. Again, we talked about this, not breaking the lows in June. Really strong. Boom, up. Probably up into the 180s. Not a problem. The Dow, everyone's like, oh, Dow's up 14, 50%. You got to short it. I mean, it's, yeah, I see the logic here. Channel highs. It's just one of those things where, again, commodities, more commodities in the Dow. At this point, it's not tech. That's why it's leading. This one's tough. Now, man, you could make an argument we are in the short zone. We'll see what happens. You're going to need a Dow name to really lag this sucker. Gold, 7 straight months down. It can't go down. Yes, it can. And even if it doesn't, it doesn't have to be the bottom. I'm still anticipating December being the month to buy this stuff. It might be a higher low. I don't know. Tax loss selling, absolutely. No, everybody's going to take their losses on this thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go review every December. There's been a buyable bottom, either a higher low, equivalent low, or a blowout for the most part. 80% of Decembers. Why would I not anticipate that? It just looks ugly. Silver. Oh, it's lost its luster. No, it's holding up pretty well, but I still expect the best time to buy metals is when the Fed pivots. Feds aren't pivoting. You get the wipeout. It's okay. GDX. It's okay to be late on this stuff. Nothing. Tight. GDXJ we like. Nothing, but still. Again, the juniors will be the one when gold goes. But gold ain't gone anywhere but sideways. GDX, same thing. Just nowhere. Nowhere fast. 50-day, nah. AG, silver stuff. I mean, again, it doesn't look bad. It's just going nowhere. I mean, it's 6 months of chop. This is why people are like, how can you pivot so easily? It's because I've been stuck in these moments, and if I anticipate chop, I don't know how long it's going to last. AEM. Chop central. Maybe. I mean, again, could it break out? I mean, it could. I just don't know how much upside you get excited about. Maybe the 200-day, maybe it could be worth it. You're just not going to get it till the Feds. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method, Newmont. You're like, why are you even follow this thing? It's like, because it's the largest miner of gold in the GDX. So you got to watch it. Looks like junk. PAAS. Sideways. Going nowhere. Nah, whatever. Tech. The laggards. AMD got earnings after the close tomorrow. We talked about it holding the channel low. I don't know if it's about to bust up, bust down. It's not going anywhere. It's probably till earnings. NVIDIA. We talked about this popping. Could possibly maybe fill this gap up here. And I mean, again, this is all just hard. It's all lagging. Like top, upper left, lower right. These charts are all just bear market rally kind of crap. They're, in my opinion, they're not sustainable. So good luck trying to trade that. You can use references we talked about. Man, why all my fibs didn't save? So frustrating. I still think we could get up to somewhere into this gap fill, maybe up into this 200 plus range. We'll see. I mean, Intel was so beaten up it popped. Not surprised. Tough trade. There's easier stuff out there. Adobe, again, just running through this stuff. It's all at the 50-day. Talked about you could have sold puts. It had been wiped out. Time for it to rally. Maybe. I mean, Apple really tempted to buy calls on this thing. It's like inside day. I'm like, no, tech sucks, but maybe it goes higher. But it rejected the 155, the 200-day. It could just sit here high and tight until earnings. Amazon, someone asked about this. Exhaustion gap. Got bought up. As long as it holds the 100 area, I think you're good. Maybe it fills the gap. I mean, there's a trade there. It's just how much conviction can you have in tech? That's your question. CRM, over the 50-day, below 200-day. I mean, people don't remember these chop zones. Like Google went through it. Just chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. So you got to trade it below like the 96 area, 97. I mean, I struggle with it, y'all. I don't know. It looks like capitulation, but I'm telling you, if you study the 2000s, once tech was over, it's over. Meta, people are like, oh, I think it's going to bounce. I don't know.
I found this on the
Oh,
web.
hey, Siri. No, I struggle with it. I struggle with Meta. It's dead. Now, could it pop? Yeah. Trade it? I don't know. I just feel like there's so much better, safer trades. And when I say safe, downside, you know what it is. Meta, I have no clue. Oh, it's valuable. No, don't believe in the value trap proposition. Oh, it's tech. No, inflation comes. Tech is not strong long term. Microsoft, same kind of thing. I mean, it loves the dollar weakening. Could it pop? It should. Channel low. All these things look so bad. NDAQ, want to short this. Getting real close to our channel high. Does it have to come back and maybe touch? I don't know. Again, they're losing the Chinese listings. This is like when tech is dead, this is by far becomes like Coinbase. I mean, it's just going to be no volume on the NASDAQ. No one's going to be trading tech. You don't remember that? Maybe you don't trust me. That's fine. I'm sticking to my thesis on this because I remember this. I remember this very well. I remember all about this. I remember all about it. I still remember when this thing IPO'd. I mean, it dropped like 60%. Anyway, whatever. You can play it as you might fit, but it's just tough to short if the market has like this floaty upside capacity. MicroStrategy, I mean, holding high and tight, not really bearish. Man, all my lines, I got to pull them all the way across. So annoying. Holding pattern, not breaking. Netflix, talked about buying this, the breakout, things that aren't bearish. Now it comes up and it's just tightening action. Doesn't really look that bearish to me. Holding up. I mean, it's gotten obliterated, and then it based for months. Not surprised. Maybe the gap. Jeez, everything needs to be stretched out. Yeah, leave it. Don't chase it. Wait for dips. It feels stronger than some of the others. Roblox going through the same kind of things. The high and tight action. Does it get back up into the 50s? Feels like it's going to try to. I mean, we talked about them being a buyout target. Could be wrong. Play it accordingly. Know your stops. The TSLA. Talk about bear trap and rallying above the 20-day. I mean, above the 20-day, like chopping ain't that bad, man. Ain't that bad, y'all. We'll see what happens. Again, whatever you do, have a plan and stop. Don't just go, well, Dan said this, and this is always going to happen. No, the evidence changes. You got to adapt. No one is responsible but yourself. As much as I'd love to give you all the answers and hope I'm always right, no one's always right. You know that. Letter X, floppy, choppy all day. At the 20-day, I mean, this trend line ain't real. Keep an eye on it. I'm not really bearish or bullish. It looks good right there if it holds. New core, nice rally and then pull back. I mean, 140 down to 130. I mean, it seems pretty. I mean, you can see there's a zone here. There's a zone I'd be watching. I mean, watch the 130s. Not bearish, not bullish. You know, kind of need to wait for a little bit of confirmation. If the market's going to rally up, then yes, this gets interesting at 130. VALE, new president, sold off, popped off, you know, all over the place. Again, I don't know how friendly they are to business. I like they're doing spin-offs at some point, but I don't know. If y'all know more about Brazil, let me know. Arrow, yeah, just middle of the pack. I don't know. CCJ, if you're like, you don't know, well, that's the answer. Rally, talked about it, pulling back, not surprised. When it held this like 2260, 2-day range here. I mean, that's some decent backfilling. It could base and go higher. I still think commodities should go higher if you want to put the feds in a pickle. CF, all over the place today. Doji, tight actions. Not the first time we've seen long wicks before a pop higher. Long wicks before it pop higher. Lower left, upper right looks bullish to me. Now, again, I don't know how it's going to react to some other earnings. Their earnings are after the close Wednesday. If you own this, please take profits. Position, like, assume if you have options, assume you could be wrong and blown out. If you don't have options, calculate your risk and know your downside. I would say ABC, 10%. Assume 10% on any stock, like a bad news, and then what could you handle? Mosaic, high and tight up here, coming into earnings. I mean, it looks not bad. It's just NTR, very similar. I mean, NTR got over the 20-day. It looks better to me. Multi-day range, got over it, made a higher high, backed off. I mean, we'll see. Breaking trend lines, we'll see. If you bought it around 79.80, you've got some cushion. Just be careful. Bought some AA today. People are like, what are you doing with AA? Yeah, look at this. Higher lows and volume and pulling back to the swing zone, back testing the backside of a trend line. I like it with tight risk parameters. Now, I'm not talking about going all in, but you can start layering in. I mean, you got a multi-day range here. Know your stops. Dan, you can't talk this reasonable stuff into our head. Okay. XBI talked about 82 today, holding. I mean, it doesn't look that bearish. It's just consolidation. We talked about after it held here. Rally. Now, again, it didn't go all the way up to the highs. I don't know. You're at points where, when in doubt, raise your stop. XLF. Markets can't drop if tech or financials look strong. Now, they're over trend lines, probably coming to the 200-day. Inside day today, nothing really. Probably waiting for the feds. Morgan Stanley. We make this faster for y'all. Holding up, making higher highs, higher lows. Hits the 50-day. Didn't break below June lows. JP Morgan, the diamond shuffle, the diamond squeeze, the diamond trap, whatever. The diamond cutters for sellers. I mean, if you sold this and then he said the market's going 20% lower, he took all your shares and then rallied it up. JP Morgan's going to probably have a good quarter. Solar, told y'all, just wait. TAN, holding up pretty good over the 20-day. Things that you don't see if the market's bearish. ENPH, we talked about this one. If it was going to continue higher after its earnings, we'll look at that. Running into resistance. You get over 310, it pops up. I mean, if you go check the monthly, it could get to 340, 340s, maybe. Sedge, piece of junk, but even holding up, not great. For solar, just because it hit 140, I didn't say you had to short it. You have to watch the market. Now, they got an upgrade today, probably bull crap, but it closed right at the highs. I said if you're not paying attention, here's what I'm worried about. If you're trying to short it anywhere now, check out the monthly. I got issues because it could hit the 50% fib in the 160s. Look at this volley, like this. Look at this area. It's got muscle memory. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I did not short today because, again, I don't think the market's going lower, so I don't want to jump in front of a train. That doesn't look bearish to me. Big action, big volume. We'll see if it's capitulation in a buddy pass, meaning upgraded by brokers to be sold. keep an eye on it. Tough to say. USO, talked about holding like the 70 area again. Backing up. Now this is the area to buy it down. 69s. Hit the 20-day. Doji, it's hard to tell. But, I mean, again, I'm not surprised. It cleared flat. It closed flat. I mean, those headlines were, to me, bullish. But we'll see what happens. UNG, nice gap up today. If you were watching these levels and you saw the 18, 19, I mean, you can see why you bought. Filled the, close enough for government work, filling gaps, even though it's a UNG, but, pullback. You got levels. I mean, look below. Got lucky on the gap up today, that's for sure. But, I mean, you could have bought it with risk-reward parameters in place. XOP doesn't look bearish to me. Talked about it filling the gap. These names are probably going to get new money a new month. Oxy holding up pretty well. Trying to move quick through all this. You can see it's holding up in the upper quadrant. Doesn't look bearish to me. ExxonMobil, everybody's favorite, making 52-week highs every day. Now today it was a little bit of a long wicked, both sides, Still, 52-week highs. Nobody called that but me. I said, if the market rallies back here, remember September, I was like, this thing could go to new highs, especially if commodities rally. Did it without the massive commodity rally. Interesting. Note to self. EQT. Gas rallied. No, look at that. Could have bought the 200-day. Talked about it. Man, all of my spots didn't save. I mean, I kind of gave up on it because it's earnings and all this crap, but look at that. Maybe it's just a trap. Trappy. Breaking the trend line. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm trying to make these recaps quicker. Also, again, like, subscribe. Students ready, the teacher appears kind of thing. I want people to be able to find this, but also, again, I don't advertise. I think the best thing the algorithm can do is match people like yourself who have done similar searches. Hopefully they can find you. I appreciate the love, support, the generous donations. Again, $5 or $5,000. It's all the same to me. It means you show appreciation for the knowledge because your tuition bill is being dramatically lower than anyone else's because I'm trying to give this stuff away for free. I'm not scared of competition. I'll say it, and I say it every day. You can teach people how to literally do this the best you can, and they'll still mess it up, or they just won't give it their full effort. So the 5% of y'all are the ones who I believe in. And always, anyone in the Discord room, I believe in you. It's just, do you believe in yourself? Are you going to stick to it? Times are tough. How are you going to react? That's the key. All right, man. Pray that the real estate market softens up just a little bit. And I apologize if I'm a little busy in the afternoon. I got to interview some tenants. Got to meet with some lenders. Got some things. I'll be around, but not around kind of thing. And sorry for the late recap. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.